Hello, everyone. I'm Helen Cole, the founder of the Gene Collective. Today's conversation is a very special one for me because it's about giving back to someone who's given so much to others. John Musgrave has quietly mentored, guided, and cheered on so many women in our community, including me. He's the kind of leader who sees potential before we see it in ourselves. He often offers his support freely without fanfare because he genuinely believes in people and especially in women stepping into leadership. I've had the honor of being coached by John, and today I want you to meet the man I know: wise, hilarious, kind, and full of stories and strategies that can change your life or your business. So grab a coffee or even a glass of wine and settle in and enjoy this conversation with a mentor, friend, and all around gem, John Musgrave.
Well, Helen Cole, shucks.
Well, it's all
Well, I think you're wonderful, and I say to people I'm doing this, and they say why, and I say because Helen Cole's doing it. Like I'm a advocate, a cheerleader, and a supporter of you. So thank you. Those are very kind words.
I was blessed to meet you one day at an Outstanding Business Achievement Committee meeting, and I recognized right away the value that you possess. And so
You
here we
you
are, John.
you told me we were going to be friends. You like
So, John, I'd like to talk about who is John Musgrave? Who is the man behind the advice? So, you've been described, and I've heard this from more than one woman, you've been described as a safe place, a sounding board, a believer in others, especially women. When you hear that, what does that mean to you?
I cherish it. The majority of my career has been working with, it's just what's happened. And um, the learnings, the experiences I get from them, the empathy, the understanding for nurturing and negotiations and helping, and the amount of pain that so many of them suffer. I just want to help them. You said believe, and I refer many times to my superpowers, and it's arrogant. But one of my superpowers is I can find what that person's strength is, what that individual's strength is, and then I build on that, and I genuinely, in my heart, believe in them. And I heard somewhere sometime that if you have just one person who believes in you, you're very lucky. So what I try to do is I try to be that person. I try to find what matters to them, what they're good at, what they care about, what fills their heart, and then we build from there. I tell people often that I'm the Wizard of Oz. I won't ask you to become me, but I will help you find your heart, your bravery, and your brain, and have you go. And I even say to them, I too am the gentleman behind the curtain that's nervous and scared. Like I worry about stuff. I'm not 100% confident in everything, but I just help people find who they are and then help them thrive.
That is exactly what you do. So tell me, what were the experiences that shaped the way you show up for people in your life and in your career? What experiences shaped you?
Well, I don't I'm not politically correct, Helen. You know that. So I'm going to tell you a story from the 90s.
Politically correct.
Well,
I
but
take
but in the
responsibility.
90s there were different, you could speak differently, you could talk differently. So I'm going to be in that vein in that time, and I just please come with me and believe. It's not like whatever. I just don't want people to judge it, but just experience it. I was 24 and I was appointed assistant operations manager of CIBC at Rideau and Sussex, downtown Ottawa. And everything I had done at CIBC before that was all customer service, all in front of the clients, in front of everything. And now I was down in an operational situation, and because they wanted me to learn the foundations of banking. And this office we had it was terrible. You went downstairs, you went by the cash office, and like there was all kinds of glass and stuff. And then you came into ours, and my desk was here, and then there was like a rifle range down like a hallway kind of a room, and there were 10 desks, accounts receivable, accounts payable, corporate accounts, business accounts, personal accounts, and there was 10 women working on all of those tables, and I was their boss, and 7 of them had more years experience in the job than I did years of life. And within the first 2 weeks, trying to fix things, trying to have them seen and heard, I had a little room where we'd go have meetings, and like over half of them ended up crying in that meeting. And I'm like, what did I do? Like I'm trying to help. And there's this emotional outbreak. And I didn't know what to do. So I'm a strong testosterone man. So what I did to solve it was I called my mom. And I said, Mom, what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? She goes, nothing. She goes, you're doing exactly what they need. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, John, when your buddies get angry or frustrated, what happens? I said, I don't know. They're idiots. They punch each other or a wall. He goes, yeah. So when women are frustrated, when women care, when women have this emotional buildup, they keep it in. And tears are like a valve in a kettle or a what's a pot that's sealed in? What are those pots that are sealed in? And it's just a whistle. It's a release. It's a pressure release that they need to a pressure cooker that they need to do. She goes, here's my advice. Always have a box of Kleenex on your desk. And when it happens, pause for a minute and say, are you okay? And I said, do you need a couple minutes? And give them a couple minutes. And I say, are you ready to keep going? And then keep going. And I did it. And it worked. And I would tell them, I would say, I understand that you're just frustrated and that's your pressure cooker, that's your release. And it tells me that you care. So, and that was my first real learning, like situation where I had a team of women and I was unequipped. And I found that empathy, that understanding, and that patience gave me credibility, and that team worked really hard for me. Like I had no right being in that role, and their productivity and their execution made me successful, and it was because I let them know I cared. So that would be probably my first real leadership situation, and it was a valuable lesson because it served me well for many, many years.
It sounds as if your mom was incredibly wise and passed a lot of that wisdom on to you. You're very fortunate, as we are, to have you. So let's go back a bit. And you have already answered this in a way, but I know you, John. I know you can think of another instance. What was your first real leadership moment in business, and what did you learn? I'm thinking,
Well,
go ahead.
it's not in business. Um, it was sports. I I wanted to play football. I wanted to play football so bad, and I have very limited vision in my left eye. I've had my whole life. I'm legally blind in my left eye, and I can't. I see two dimensional. Like I don't. I can't. I don't know what 3D is. And my football team, I couldn't pass a medical physical because of my vision, and the coaches wouldn't let me play. And I fought them, and I said, I'll get a lawyer. I'm playing, and I played, and I did well. Like I was captain of the team, leadership awards, coaches award of merit, all these recognitions. And the sad part is, Helen, in my entire football career, I touched the ball twice, and both times I just fell on it because I was an offensive guard and a defensive tackle, so I wasn't supposed to. But in that situation and in my peers, I had the opportunity, and it happened where I was a leader. I became a leader amongst men and succeeded at it. And I was a child. I was a boy child. Like I was like 16, 17, 18 years old. And that lesson is what propelled me to do it more. So does that answer the question, Helen?
It does. It does. It was not what I expected, but that's a great story. And it does exemplify you. You are strong, you're determined, you do not give up, and that expresses it so well.
And I can't catch a football.
You've worked with so many, you know what's so fun to talk with you. I always love talking with you. You've worked with so many businesses across various sectors. What are two or three patterns you notice in leaders who succeed and those who struggle?
Um, I don't even need to have two or three. The absolute final answer to strong leadership is be thoughtful. That's it. Take care of people, take care of customers, take care of your team, take care of your team's kids, take care of people and be thoughtful. If you have an exterior force bringing threat down on your team, you need to be a warrior and you need to take care of it and take care of it effectively. And if you have an internal threat, because they're part of your team, you have to give them an opportunity, but then you also have to address the issue and either make it fixed or make it go away. Those are all thoughtful things, but it's far too many times leaders are self-serving. They let their ego get in the way. They believe that the execution and the goal at the end is fine at the expense of people. And those are the mistakes that people make. I was and do have a reputation for just making things happen. I don't drink, but I'm almost certain I could get copyright to the phrase "hold my beer" because I just like let's make things happen. But I never do it alone. I'm always able to bring my peaceful army with me. That's why my logo is a warrior helmet. Far too many leaders make the mistake of they matter. And what they need to do is they need to understand that their team matters. And if you're thoughtful, then if you take care of them and if you hold them accountable, you will be unstoppable.
John, that is really thoughtful, insightful messaging, and it really strikes home with me because of a variety of situations that have happened in my life. So I'm going to take that and work with that from now on. Um, this is one of the things I noticed when I worked with you. You ask the best questions. What's a question you often ask clients that really gets them thinking?
It's the meanest question possible because none of them can answer it. And if they try, they give me an answer that isn't the truth and they struggle with it. And if I can help them achieve the answer, it is such a breaking moment. What do you want?
Simple.
People don't know.
You have asked me that question before.
Helen, it's so true. Like it's people get on the treadmill and they're just going. And I'm like, is that what you want? Like, what do you want? Um, my goal in everything, and like I don't like marijuana. I don't drink. I don't like the way it feels. But I would love to have been a hippie in the 60s, man. Peace and love, peace and love. I just want peace and harmony everywhere. And that when I have peace and harmony, I'm a very wealthy person. And I love it. But people, like I say to people, I'm very selfish. People, John, you're so generous, you're so kind. No, my goal in this world is to help everybody around me have what they need or want. So I'm in a world where everybody around me has what they need or want. Peace and harmony. What is it you really want? And why are you chasing it? And figure that out. And then when you figure it out, we'll chase it together. So the most difficult question, the pending question that people struggle with and that I try to help them answer is, what do you want?
That is, yeah, I remember you asking me that. And I sometimes, we're all in a state of transition, and the Gene Collective is in a state of transition as we're moving more toward a leadership model that includes a board of directors. So again, that's a very good question for me to be asking myself and my group of leaders, and we are working on that. So thank you. So what's one story from your career that still makes you laugh or even taught you a big lesson that you've never forgotten?
So I used to say, I'd say it all the time. My career was going from snake pit to snake pit, and I would just fix them. I would just fix them. And I went to one location with one organization, and the people were fist fighting. The people were calling police on each other. One gentleman built a website, and you could go on the website and select a supervisor and pick the manner in which you punished them.
Oh,
The stockroom was packed and infested. They had 12 transport trailers full of merchandise out on the tarmac of the parking lot. Had no idea what was in it. The garden center was packed and infested. It was just a disaster. And we started fixing it. And I'm in my office, and I hear over the thing, John, call whatever, and I called it, and they yelled, "There's a fire in the stockroom." Yeah. So I rush into the stockroom. We had the compactor, which is like this big 5 ton whatever full of all the garbage and crap, and smoke is billowing in from the gate that we have access to it. And so I watched the movie Backdraft. I was careful. I opened a little bit and I open it, and flames are coming out. So I just say to my team, "Get me the fire extinguishers." So they grab me one. The first one they hand me, nothing, down. This one works. I empty it. The next one, nothing. So out of like 6 or 7 fire extinguishers, 4 didn't work. So nobody was checking the fire extinguishers. Nobody, you're supposed to be doing that monthly. You're supposed to do it annually. You're supposed to be that. The fire department shows up. There's a big set of steel double doors that are locked that are right there in the wall of the mall wall. And they're supposed to be checked monthly. They're supposed to be sealed. They're supposed to be doing it, supposed to everything. The doors are seized shut. The fire department wants to come in that door to put the fire out to get, and it's seized shut. Myself and 2 firemen broke the door down, frame and all. We took the whole, we just smashed it, and like inside the frame, the door landed on the parking lot. They come in, they're blasting it, they pull it out, they spread it all over the parking lot, and they're spraying it for like 3 or 4 hours because it's smoldering. And this is my mess. And this young lady calls me about 5 hours after, where I'm standing there and I'm looking. I've got a big gaping hole in my building. I've got fire damage on the inside of my building, and I got 5,000 pounds of barbecued patio furniture, marshmallows, and toothpaste on the driveway. And she says, John, was there a fire?" I'm like, "Yeah." She was my stockroom, uh, full-time stockroom person. And I'm like, "Yeah." And she goes, I think I might have said it." And I'm like, "What?" And she goes, "Everything's such so like I got no time." And I said, "What happened?" She goes, "I wrote off some pool chemicals, and there were dry and wet pool chemicals, and I threw them in the garbage."
oh my.
What? And that's what, and I'm like, "Yeah, you started the fire." And there's a pause, and I can hear, and I said, she goes, "Am I fired?" And I said, "Did you do it on purpose?" She goes, "No." I said, "Then no, you're not." She goes, what do you mean? I said, you're going to work. She goes, what do you mean? I said, you're coming in tomorrow and you're on parking lot cleaning duty. You're going to be painting this wall that's fitted with the wire. And I said, and now you're on my health and safety committee. And so we get all these fire extinguishers checked and we get the doors thing. And I said, you're going to work your ass off. She goes, I'm not fired. I said, you're not worried about that work? She's like, no. She came in, we fixed it all, we did it all, we fixed the store. Like everything got fixed and corrected. But I look at people's intention. I look at their heart. If you're mean and evil, but you've got this mask of nice, I don't want to work with you. But if you're hurting and pain, but you have a heart of gold and a good intention, I'll be able to bring that heart out. She had the courage to call me and say I set the fire expecting to be fired.
Yeah,
I
amazing.
want that person on my team forever.
Absolutely.
And so I have thousands of stories like that, Helen.
Yes,
But
you do.
when you asked for it, that was the one that resonated the most, was that people react certain ways with emotion and without thought to like, I have grandsons and they're 3 and 2 and 3 years old. And I read that they act the way they act. So you feel the way they feel. Like if they're frustrated, they frustrate you. If they're mad, they make you mad. If they're sad, they try to make you sad. And we do that as adults to like I just would have to break down a door and I want to unleash my pain onto you because you caused it. No,
Oh,
no, I am an empathetic, caring person, and I'm going to look at your intent. The courage, the courage it took her to call me was unparalleled.
and
So
she accepted responsibility, which is
and
so key, and she didn't have to do that.
but the other, I love the word diabolical, and you know this, but diabolically, like she became my ally, my asset, and I worked her to the bone. Like she was, she she was awesome. So
That
yeah,
is a fabulous story. There's so many elements there that you could continue to unpack. I really appreciate you for sharing that one. I want to move on to women and leadership, John. You've offered so much time and wisdom to women in leadership or women who want to be leaders. Why do you do this and why does this matter to you?
um, it's not an agenda. Um, I heard, somebody once told me, a friend of ours, Nancy McShelly, she said, "Don't beg people to work with you. Find your people." And I just happened to find a lot of women that I align with. I actually closed two small business owners who are women this week to be new customers, and both of them in the in the negotiated meeting, they closed me. They're like, I can't afford not to work with you. We have to, and it's just I
Those are very wise women, by the way.
well, yeah, but I don't we have a very sensitive gender situation right now in the world, and I don't want to have generalizations, but um, men's egos get in the way too often to ask for help, and women, they're more willing to go, you know what, I see the value and I think this is going to work. Yeah, I will do this. And so it just works that way. And like I said, it was, these were two people I had never met before, and they reached out to me. The one, and this is generous listening. I've talked to you about this repeatedly. It's far beyond words. And I'm fairly bold, like you said, quietly take care of people. And I thought to myself, people rarely refer to me as quietly. Um, but you listen, if you listen with intent. And what happened with one of these ladies, I have a action button on my website to have people ask about my services and stuff like that. And it gets inundated with virtual assistants, SEO, website design. And for a while there, I was getting a lot of requests to sell me Taylor Swift tickets. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So yeah, I know. So I wake up Saturday morning, this Saturday, and there's a message from, and I'm like, oh, what's Taylor want now? And I look at it, and it came in at 12:39 a.m. And it said in the information, I need help, guidance, and a roadmap. And that was it. And they had their name and their phone number. And what I did was I Googled the name and the phone number, and I got their business, and I did a review of their business, and I got and I went with my emotion. I went with my belief, and I said, you sent this email at 12:39 a.m. And one of the first words you used was help. So I'm going to make an assumption that I think your situation in your business is making you sleep and you're not sure what to do. This is the exact things that I can help you with. And I said, I think we should meet sooner than later so that we can start repairing now. And we ended up, I like to work between like 9 and 5, but I do have extended hours for people. And we met Monday at 6 o'clock. So she sent it Friday night. Monday at 6 o'clock, we had our first meeting. We agreed to work together. And I just had a second meeting with her now, giving her agenda and what we're going to be doing. And she's the one who closed me. I didn't close her, but it was risky. And but she actually said to me, she said, as soon as I read that email, I knew I was going to work with you. You pay attention to like that was generous listening. It's a text, it's an email. There's no volume, there's no audible, but she's sending a message, and I heard it. And we all have that opportunity to do that with everybody that we talk to.
I'm absolutely certain that you will help her. So, a few more questions.
Sure.
How can workplaces or communities better support women leaders? And this is from your point of view.
Ask the question again, please.
How can workplaces or communities better support women leaders? Boy, that requires
Well,
some thinking.
I adore you, and I adore what you're doing with the Gene Collective. Um, I think that the answer to that question is just let's find the people who want to and who to help them be better leaders. Um, Opportunity maybe is something that we can create or support to help women because like men are have been dominant to it. I think you told me once government representation, women only count for 24%. Is that right?
When I started in Lambton County, it was 20%.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So that might be the way, but no, it's a good question.
So while you're thinking, the Gene Collective does create opportunities through our conferences, through support, and campaign school.
But I'm not sure, Helen, because it's like I just help people and I find my people. And I'm not sure the answer to that question.
Would you suggest I didn't intend to get into politics, so I'll try to be careful. But would you suggest that the resistance that we're seeing, especially in the South, about diversity, equity, and inclusion, is a way that if we support diversity, equity, and inclusion in our communities, that is a way we can support women and all individuals?
I'm gonna tell you another quick story if you don't mind.
Okay.
I was the area manager for EMCO, plumbing wholesaler in Niagara region. I had two warehouses and one high-end showroom, and I was looking for a driver to deliver materials to my plumbers on construction sites and residential sites. And this fantastic young lady, and I'll call her out, named Amelia, came and applied. And she was like 5'3", and she was wonderful. And she had a very challenging past, which she overcame with blaze of glory. And she was a go-getter. And I'm like I everything about her. And she knew it was a driver position, and she had taken apprentices, a plumbing apprentice at college, so she wanted to get in to understand the business. And and I'm there, and I'm like, I so the hardest thing we had is they were called TS5s. They were like a full insert shower tub. And I said, you need to be able to load and unload these off of a truck. And she's like, okay. So she got the little dolly, she got the thing, she did something and rigged up this hook thing and pulled it and got it on the and pulled it on the truck and delivered and then pulled it out. And I'm like, you got the job. She was fantastic. She was delightful. All the guys on the job site loved her. She was like, gentlemen, I've got 5 DS5s. Anybody want to help me? And they'd all help her off with stuff. Like she was just, but and when I introduced her to my boss, I'm like, this is my new driver. He's like, how are you, Amelia? She was but she was perfect. She deserved the shot. She did everything I needed to do, and I was hiring her for her attitude and for her willingness. And I didn't care if it was a lumberjack or
Those qualities are so incredibly important. They really are everything. If you have attitude and a willingness, you can do almost anything. So
but it
good at
instead of building opportunity, we should just like we maybe go to leaders and say, drop your paradigms. Like pick the best person. Don't pick what you prefer.
Well, I think that DEI does consider that. It is about picking the best person. However, sometimes individuals will be ignored because of a belief or a paradigm that the hiring person has. So I feel that DEI is an attempt to allow everyone to have an opportunity.
That was a tough one.
So,
That was a tough one to answer.
and I realized it was tough because I was having trouble answering it. If someone watching this wants to work with you or reach out, what would you have them know first?
This disqualifies me often from people. You have to be self-aware. I've said it many times. Like if when I went into the retail stores, when I went to the big box stores, um, I would work on the team, and I had a reputation. Zellers and Rona, they used to give you notice when VPs and things were coming through because they wanted you to clean up, put on a good front.
Mhm.
And my stores, they just came because I was always grand opening ready. Because I wasn't doing it for a VP, I was doing it for my customer, my team, and for me. And when I would go to a store, I had a reputation of being the guy that did that. And my my district manager would come in, and they'd say, "How come, how come this isn't fixed? Like how come?" And I said, "Because if you got a kid in a room and he's kicking holes in the walls and breaking windows, there's no point in fixing the walls and the windows. Fix the kid." And in leadership, when I go to them and they're like, my team is broken. These people, they're terrible. Like they don't do what it asks. They don't do it. They're broken. Can you fix them? I'm like, how long have you had them? And if they say like 5 days, I'm like, yeah, let's fix them together. But if they say, I've had them for 2 years, I'm like, then you're the problem. This is the cake you baked and it tastes terrible. Like it's like I've got to teach you to be a better cook. I need to teach you to be a better leader. I need to teach you how to make things better. And if I fix them and go away, you'll break them again because you have really bad leadership habits. So people that aren't prepared to be self-aware and aren't prepared to take responsibility don't like hearing them from me. And I end up not working with them.
Mhm.
But the ones who are saying, I need to be a better leader, I want to be a better leader, then those people I can help, those people I can work with.
I like that. Yeah, you're right. And so many things are running through my mind as you were saying that, of different instances in my career, and some of them even my own responsibility that come to mind. And you're right. The we have to make sure that the leader is in the right place to bring forward that change. So, is there a quote or an idea that you return to, especially when times are tough? Do you ever have tough times?
I tell people, and I say, we said talk about the Wizard of Oz today. I can't remember.
No, we did not.
I'm the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, we did. You did say that once. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I have the scared man behind the curtain controlling the piano. I have tough times, absolutely. Um, Not to plug my business. On my website, there's a blog called Leadership Toolbox. It's all my favorite quotes.
Okay.
But I will gladly share a couple with you that I repeat all of the time. And the people who work closely with me probably are tired of hearing it. The first one is if you accept it, it becomes acceptable.
Hmm. Okay.
And that great quote was from a wonderful leader I've known for a while. His name's John Musgrave.
The best.
But it's so real. Like it's like that thing where the team's broken and the leader's going like you accepted that behavior and now it's acceptable and you don't like it. If you accept it, it becomes acceptable. Take responsibility. And then the second one, and this one has served me well my entire life. And it's how I interact with everybody and everything and everybody I come across. And it's give people more than they expect and give it graciously.
You certainly do that.
Yeah, but that's it's when you genuinely take care of people and when you can do like yes, you can do some monetary things that are but the simplest of things where you just take care of people and you give it graciously, like that builds that belief part. Oh, there's a woman I'm working with, and she showed me a quote that she has on her wall in her office, and she says, like I pause and I hold back, and I'm afraid to move forward. She goes, and then I read this thing about lionesses, and before they're about to hunt, they pull back and withdraw and plant, and then they lunge. And it's this quote about I'm not fearful, I'm pulling back to launch. And it was on, God love her, it was on this thing with like coffee rings and folded corners. And she's like, this has been up on my wall for 12 years. And she walked out and I took a picture of it. And I came home and I gave it to my daughter and I said, make this nice and put like a watermark of a lioness like pouncing. And she did it. And I got like this $6 frame and I put it in it. At our next meeting, I said, that quote is so important and it's too important to me. I would like you to have this. And I gave it to her. And she was amazed that I took the time to do that. And it's it doesn't take a lot. It shows that I listened, I understood how important it was to her, and I made it important to me. And I gave her more than she expected, and I gave it graciously. So
And yes, sorry, go ahead.
accept if you accept it becomes acceptable. Give more than they expect, and give it graciously. Those are my two.
You always give more than anyone expects. I think both your clients and your friends that you have helped would say the same. That's the reason that almost everywhere I'm going now, if I'm in with a group of women, there's always a woman who is singing your praises because of the great stuff you do. So, is there anything I haven't asked you that you'd love to share with the people who've come to value your voice?
Oh my gosh, Helen. Well, I can't think of something that
You haven't already said?
would be a mantra that I could share. Um, yeah,
One
it's
thing, sorry, one thing you've always said to me, and I don't have quite the exact words, but you've always said, you need to believe in yourself. And you've often corrected me when I have bad self-talk. Would you talk to your friend like that?
Well, you know, you know how much I adore my wife.
Oh,
And
yes, she's lovely.
yeah, and I've said this to her repeatedly. And I would love to give this gift to all the women I know. I said, if I could give you one thing, it would be that you would be nicer to yourself.
Yes, you have said that to me as well.
It's her internal voice. Like I just want it to be nicer to her. And I think I've told you this, and it's like I said, if I'm dealing while working with women, I say to them like, if I could take that voice in your head and I could put it into a person in front of you, and they were talking to you, I am pretty sure I could get a restraining order against that person. like it, like it, like, and like it's like take care of you. So yeah, that would be if I could give a gift, that would be it.
You are a wonderful, caring, genuine man, and I feel very fortunate that we are friends.
Well, I think I'm the lucky one, Helen.
So, John, I really thank you for this conversation. I will be putting your website up. I will be. And I want to thank you for today. And most importantly, I want to thank you for being you. To those watching, if you are looking for someone who will ask the right questions, challenge you with love, and remind you that you can, I recommend John Musgrave. And if this conversation resonated with you, please like, share, or leave a comment. And let's make sure more people know about the impact that John is having in our communities.
Helen, Cole, you're wonderful, and I'm going to forgive you for that parallel parking crack. Well, Glenn and I both follow the same process to get home, so I got some good qualities. We map out our lights. You told me that. This is a wonderful opportunity. I appreciate it. You're just darling, and the reason why I support you like I do is because of how much you give to people. And thank you for this gift today. It was wonderful, and I appreciate it.
You're so welcome, John.